Second down. Salam. About a yard.
I tell you, Salam didn't run that one in there.
No, he didn't. I think it's because he lost the ball.
Well, you know what happens is sometimes that takes the aggressiveness away from your running because, you know, you're not balanced well, and you become so conscious of holding on to the ball that then you can't run. I mean, you're just running and you don't have balance, you don't stride out or anything, and he looks like he was more worried about holding on to that ball and not fumbling or being stripped than he was making yards on that play.
Third down, they need about 3 or 4. Kramer back to throw it. That'll be enough for the first to Jeff Graham. With that last carry by Rashan Salam, I should say. It's the first time in Bear history with 2 1,000-yard wide receivers and a 1,000-yard rusher. Last time it happened was Harlan Hill and Rick Caceres.
Yeah, I remember both of those guys.
Sure,
Rick Caceres was a tough fullback, and Harlan Hill was when we're at Florence State in Alabama. He was from some real small school.
Right. Kramer firing deep, got a man open. Incomplete, no flag. Now, there's one that could have been called.
Well, again, every time you throw one up, it could be. You know, because if the defensive back is going to be in good position, he's going to be awfully close to the receiver. And you see it out here. You see him just running there, and then he just stops there, and then he goes by him. That's a little kind of hook and go, and there's going to be some contact as the ball gets there.
Yep.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, I think they have to let that go, or they can't play.
Graham slipped.
Yeah, the ball hit Bobby Taylor, who was covered. I think it hit Bobby Taylor right in the foot.
Here's the high step by Salam for a couple of yards. The Bears leading 7-0.
One thing about Salam is he's the youngest player in the league, and he really didn't have a lot of carries in college and even in high school. You go all the way back to high school, he played 8-man football.
Yeah.
So he comes in as a young, fresh running back. You know, and I think that's very important. Ray Rhodes was talking about that last night, that was one of the things that he really liked about Salam, that he wasn't a beaten-up running back.
Fresh legs. He hadn't been hit that much. Here's Kramer back to throw it. Has some time. Got a man open. Graham out of bounds. At about the 27. First down, Chicago.
You know, Dave Wanstadt was saying yesterday, and it's so true, that Eric Kramer throws as tight a spiral as he's ever seen. And he said when a quarterback throws a tight spiral, and this is true, the weather doesn't affect him like it does some of those quarterbacks that throw fluttering passes. But he knows who to look to, too, doesn't he? I mean, he's looking for Jeff Graham every time he needs a play here today.
That's not a bad place to look. 4 out of 7. The 1 touchdown pass to Jennings. Eagle blitz coming. Salam to the 26.
You know what the Eagles are doing? They're putting Mark McMillan. He's flip-flopping. He's going on Curtis Conway, you know, who's a smaller, fast receiver. And then they're putting the rookie Bobby Taylor is flip-flopping, and he's playing on Jeff Graham. So I don't know. I mean, I think that the Bears are going to go to Jeff Graham anyway, and it just so happens that Bobby Taylor is going to be there.
2nd and 8, the 10th play of this drive. Salam has just set another new Bear record. I'll tell you about that in a second. Kramer, Graham had it there and lost it. Romanowski had a chance for a pick on the rebound, and he lost it. Salam has just set a new Bear rookie season rushing record with 1,005 yards. It was held by Beatty Feathers and set back in 1934.
Yeah, but how many, in 1934 then, how many games did Beatty Feathers play to gain 1,000 yards? Because
13.
He played 13?
Right.
Well, you knew that. I was going to say maybe like 10 or 12 games. But they played 13-game seasons at 34.
I woke up in the middle of the night, and I was thinking about that, and I looked it up. Carter, the ball carrier.
I was kind of surprised there that they run the ball. You would think that with the way Kramer was throwing the ball, he was throwing the ball pretty well, because even that last one, Graham just dropped the ball. It's surprising that they just ran a give-up type play on 3rd down.
Kevin Butler will try from 40 yards with Chris Gedney holding against the wind. Far enough, but wide right. Sometimes when you go against the wind, you try to overpower it, and that doesn't work. The Bears lead by 7. Back at Soldier Field, Chicago. Pat Summerall with John Madden. Some of the other scores, the 49ers 14-3 against Atlanta in the first.
Of course, everyone's interested in that game here, because they know if the Bears win today and the 49ers win, the Bears are in the playoffs.
Here's Ricky Waters. Takes it outside and picks up about 4. Ron Cox made the stop.
You know, Rodney Peete, it's interesting here. He's the Eagles quarterback, of course. Then his dad, Willie Peete, is the running backs coach of the Chicago Bears. So here you got Willie Peete right up here. He's coaching the Bears. And then down here, now here is Rodney Peete's wife, Holly. Here is Rodney Peete's mother, Edna. Here is Rodney Peete's brother, Willie. So you got the whole thing. You got a player, a coach, a mother, a father, and a brother. And you wonder who they're rooting for.
A lot of repeats. The first down pass from Rodney Peete to Rob Carpenter.
Here they are, Pat, before the game. That's Rodney Peete and his dad, Willie. And they didn't talk all week. You know, usually during the season they talk like every day, you know, about how things are going. But when they play against each other, then they don't talk that week. But I'll tell you who it's toughest on. I mean, Willie Peete's working, Rodney Peete's working. You know, Holly is kind of new to the thing. It's toughest on the mother.
Always. That's Ricky Waters. Surges up close to midfield to about the 48. 2:19 left to play in the first quarter. The Bears 7. The Eagles nothing.
Then the other thing is when you're Holly Robinson and you're just kind of married, and again she's on that show Hanging with Mr. Cooper, huh?
Yeah.
Hanging with Mr. Cooper. But anyway.
What do you mean kind of married? You either are or you're not.
No. Just kind. No. They're newly married. They got married this just past off season.
Reggie Johnson got open. Rodney Peete hit him inside the 20.
And I was just going to say that he'd been sacked 2 times already, but now he comes and he hits Reggie Johnson down there. And the thing that they figure about Reggie Johnson is he's the pass receiving tight end on this Eagle team. And Ray Rhodes was saying that as a tight end, he's like a wide receiver. I mean, he has that kind of speed. And if they're going to pass the ball to a tight end, it's going to be him. It's not going to be Ed West who gets it.
They go with 2 tight ends here. Ricky Waters hit behind the line of scrimmage and stopped after about a yard. Let's send you back to Hollywood for an update. James Brown.
Pat and John, Bears fans are cheering this. Take a look on the reverse. What can't Jerry Rice do? Bobbles it, tosses a perfect 41-yard strike to J.J. Stokes. Stokes, 5 catches, 105 yards already, 14-3. San Fran. Back to Pat and John.
You're right. What is it that Jerry Rice can't do?
Yeah, I wouldn't have thought of that one. You know, I know that he can catch and he can run and he can block. He's a heck of a blocker, but who would have thought he'd be throwing it? Next thing you know, he'll be kicking it.
And a perfect pass it was. Knocked away. Intended for Brett Barnett. Knocked down by Minifield. He started to come on, Kevin Minifield.
Yeah, he had a couple interceptions last week. You're going to see him man-to-man out there, and he starts to the inside, then he makes a move to the outside. Watch, he's just waiting for that ball, times it perfectly, and puts that left hand up there.
Boy, that's the way you draw it if you can.
That is great coverage. Dave Wanstead was saying the thing that he likes about Minifield is he's a playmaker. I think that was what he was talking about.
He can make some things happen. 3 wide receivers for the Eagles. And here's Rodney Peete back to throw it. Barnett makes the catch at about the 8.
I think if they're going with the wind, I think that they would want to get another play in this quarter and throw it into the end zone.
I don't know if they'll make it or not.
They're not going to take a timeout. It's one of those things. There is a wind down there, but it's probably, in their mind, not worth taking a timeout for.
So at the end of 1, the Bears lead the Eagles 7-0. Soldier Field in Chicago, 1st and goal at the 8 for Philadelphia to tie it up. That's Charlie Garner, and he quickly ties it up. From 8 yards away, he explodes into the end zone.
Yeah, you think of Charlie Garner, 5'9", 185 pounds. You think, well, he'd be a quick guy, he'd be an outside guy, but he is a tough guy, an explosive guy, and a heck of an inside runner. I mean, he's the only back in the backfield. He is going to hit that hole, make that move there, and then cut back and just run through a tackler.
He is quick. He's been out with a broken thumb. Anderson will try the extra point with Tommy Hutton, the punter, holding.
He's emotional, too, isn't he? I like that. I like Charlie Garner.
Extra point's good, and we have a tie at Soldier Field. 7-7.
Look at that block there by Guy McIntyre. He's the guy who started the hole.
7-7 tie in Chicago. The Eagles and the Bears. Playoff hopes for the Bears and hopes for the Eagles as well of winning the NFC East. This is Nate Lewis.
From the 20-yard line.
Yeah, if you look after Charlie Garner scored that touchdown, Pat, he went over and he gave the ball to his running back coach, Dick Jamieson, whose wife passed away this past Thursday morning. And he's been going through a heck of a week and a heck of a time. And
the whole Eagle family has.
Yeah, and everyone, and he wanted to be here. And Ray Rhodes says, just take some time, be with. And he said, no, this is where he wants to be today.
Kramer with good protection throws it away. Doesn't matter if the protection was good or not. You're going to throw it away.
Well, now, and that's probably why he did throw it away. Bobby Taylor was right there. We talked about how Bobby Taylor is guarding Jeff Graham today, and Kramer's been trying to work the ball to Graham or against Taylor, but that time Bobby Taylor was up there tight on him. Kramer again tried to throw it to him and saw that he couldn't do it, so he just threw it away.
Bobby Taylor's a big rookie who did such a good job a couple of weeks ago. This is Salam. Not much there. Romanowski up to make the stop.
Yeah, well, we were talking to Ray Rhodes last night. He says that Bobby Taylor has to step up again today. In fact, he said both his corners, Mark McMillan and Bobby Taylor, because they don't want to double cover these receivers all day. They want to have a safety that they can put up in the box to help stop this Chicago Bear run. So if they're going to do that, then these corners have to play a lot of man-to-man.
3rd and 8, 3 wide receivers. Long count. Graham. Conway, beg your pardon. 1st down. Good throw.
It's a heck of a throw. It's just going to be an out. Now Bobby Taylor is on Conway this time. Conway has the speed. He's the deep guy. They're always worrying about that. But he made a full speed outcut on that one. That is tough to cover because a lot of guys have to come under control and darn near slow up, so much that you can read it. Conway made that outcut going full speed.
Yeah, that doesn't look that difficult, but to maintain that full speed, as you pointed out, is something that not a lot of people can do.
Especially on a field like this.
Kramer